All right, so here we are. Money in the Bank has just ended. We're going to try something different with sound and all that today. Who knows? This may work, so we may buy a microphone stand. We'll see. No, we just put stand in the middle.
Okay, that's fair.
No, boom. SmackDown finished with Money in the Bank.
Yes.
It was a pretty stellar show.
It was a great show.
I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't what I expected coming into tonight. It was better.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say.
It was a lot better.
What did you expect? It's Money in the Bank.
Put this more in the middle. Takes up everything.
I have an idea. Keep talking.
So we started out the night with kind of a little bit of a surprise in the sense of running the SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yes.
Run that first. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella with James Ellsworth. And we need to make note that James Ellsworth is at ringside in this match.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't he be?
Agreed. Well done, sir.
Thank you. I tried.
Some MacGyver shit going on here.
I'm telling you.
So it was actually a pretty solid match all the way around. Nobody really took an early control or an early advantage. There was a very good balance between all 5 superstars.
Yes, for sure.
Charlotte, a lot of people were expecting her to do something really stupid off of a ladder.
Which, too early for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the first ever Money in the Bank match. It doesn't really, as long
First
as the
ever
match,
women's Money in the Bank
women's
match.
Money in the Bank match. As long as the match isn't horrible, everything will fall into place perfectly.
Which it wasn't bad.
No, not at all. That's the point.
This is something we will see more of.
Yes, it was so good. James Ellsworth is the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
So, all right, so he brings up James Ellsworth being the GOAT. We're 95% way through the match, and everybody's down, but Becky and James Ellsworth.
Yes.
Becky's at the top. She's got the match won.
Yep.
Ellsworth comes in, tips the ladder,
Yep.
and
Tries to wake up Carmella first.
yeah, who's on the outside after?
No, she's on the ground.
She's on
in the ring.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And he's like looking at her like, hey, get up the ladder. She ain't moving. So he looks up and goes, fuck it. Which Chef was so salty.
Oh my God.
He was so salty.
Let's
But here's the thing. And I said this on the feed. If you have somebody who is meant to be there to assist you, does it not make sense that they're going to do everything they can to assist you?
And the rules state, and I went over this while we were recording our reactions, that it doesn't matter how you get the contract, the
As long as
belt,
you get it.
whatever, as long as you get it. So somebody can walk up. Oh, sorry. We have talking smack going on over here, and as we're talking about this, they're alluding to it over there. And Shane McMahon and both Daniel Bryan have tweeted out this evening stating that they're very unhappy with how this went. So that will be something that will be addressed on SmackDown Live, 100%.
No,
Back to what the rules state. The rules state that whoever holds the contract.
Yes.
Because if you go back to all the crazy finishes that you would have in WCW and stuff like that towards the end of its run, 2 guys would fall. I mean, WWE even did it. 2 guys would fall with the belt, whatever have you, and then it's whoever let goes first.
Right.
So the belt could start on the ground,
Right.
and then it's just a dog pile
For who has it first.
for whoever has it
Of
first.
course. Makes total sense.
So, either way, Carmella walked away as Miss Money in the Bank.
Yes.
That's
Which
gonna-
is awesome because, like I said, it's probably one of the smartest, from a character standpoint, booking that I've seen in a long, long time. I'll give you an example. And we'll talk about it more later, but in a title match,
Mm-hmm.
if you have someone at ringside, does it not make sense to have them interfering the entire time until they get kicked out to make sure that you win?
Absolutely.
When The Miz fought Dean Ambrose if Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, he loses match. it makes sense to say, Maurice, smack me. The only reason why I'm not including that into like this type of scenario as heavily is because it took so long for him to say that. That should have been at the beginning of the match. As soon as the bell rang, hey, smack me, bam, DQ, get him. That's how it should have went. I just whistled without trying. That's how it should have went because that's smart. That's how, if you're a bad guy, that's how you think, or you should think. So the fact that James climbed up the ladder, got the Money in the Bank briefcase, and literally dropped it to Carmella and said, she won, she's got it, we're done here, is the smartest thing they could have done.
And when you put it like that, if you don't watch Money in the Bank and you just listen to how he describes the moment, it makes Ellsworth seem like a more, I don't want to use the phrase badass, but
a genius.
A genius,
He's a
and
genius. And this is the thing.
And like the enforcer almost, because it's like
he's the
I'm over this.
He's the insurance policy. And this is the thing. James Ellsworth waited until it was irrefutable that Becky Lynch was going to win. He waited until everybody's knocked out, there's no one to stop her, now I must get my hands dirty. That's how he did it. It wasn't one of those at the beginning of the match, I'm going to interview throughout the entire match. He stayed on the freaking outside and did nothing until the last moments of the match. That's smart.
Absolutely.
Because
nobody's thinking about it.
Carmella showed off her skill throughout the entire match, just like every other woman.
And I mentioned that.
And then at the end of the match, it looked like she wasn't going to win, so now it's time for me to put myself into this match. And he did. And they were like, he's not even in the match. It doesn't matter because it's a no disqualification. Thank you, JBL, for explaining that in great detail. As much as I wanted you fired. But still, so Carmella is your Miss Money in the Bank.
And you talk about Carmella showing off her skill. That was something we talked about. Is she has great ring awareness, and she does have that skill. She's just been kind of given a stale character.
Yeah.
And hopefully with this briefcase, it can elevate her, and we'll get to what I like about her having the briefcase in a moment.
Yes. Because I mentioned it. Should we touch on it now?
No.
We're going to wait till that match? Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep the flow going.
Okay.
Let's talk about the match of the night, in my opinion. SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match.
Okay.
The Usos, Jimmy and Jay,
Okay.
the champions, versus the New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods on the outside. Go ahead.
Clearly it's the match of the night.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. Another smart thing by the champions. We're losing. We're getting beat up. They're getting closer and closer to our titles. Fuck this match. We're leaving. They win by countout. The New Day win by countout. Genius. Genius. And this is what makes me so happy. And they need to do this more with faces, in all honesty. They make the heels so smart in these matches now. To where they're like, okay, I'll wrestle you. I don't have shit to prove, but I will wrestle you. You're getting close to winning my title? Fuck that. I'm keeping my title. You can win the match. You can win the 100 match against me, but you ain't taking this from me. I'll say that right now.
Absolutely.
Neville did it, and it was awesome. And now the Usos are doing it, and it's beautiful. The entire match, I know that some people will be salty that it was over by a countout, but think about the bigger picture here, and think about the psychological warfare that the Usos have now waged with the New Day. The New Day are the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. They held the Raw tag team titles for over 438 days is how long they held it for.
Trust me, we're reminded every week.
Yeah. And the Usos were like, these guys are a legit threat. They came over to SmackDown. We ain't seen them since the draft. But now they're here and they're claiming that they won our titles. Cool. We'll fuck them up. They're fucking us up. Oh shit! Hey, bro, let's get the fuck out of here.
To be fair, it's not. You make it seem like it was a very one-sided match.
No.
It was just. There was a chain of smart wrestling by the New Day, executing the right moves at the right time that caught the Usos off guard. And mind you, we are a lot smarter. We know it's supposed to be like that. Let's just get that out there.
Yep.
But it was designed to catch the Usos off at the off their game.
Right.
It worked.
Yep.
And so the Usos then reverted to plan B. Fuck you guys. I am going home.
Champion's advantage. I'm taking it, and that's it. Genius.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
And I mention it, again, we reference a lot of our reactions because we do have very good conversations during those.
Right.
And it's that match is a testament to the chemistry that those five guys have because, and I think JBL alluded to it without alluding to it, about how the Usos are always on up, down, down.
Yeah.
And so, and naturally, so is the New Day.
Yep.
And now that they're on the same circuit again,
Yes.
we'll see a lot more of them back on the channel.
It's a game changer.
And we'll see a lot more of these matches. We have SummerSlam coming up soon.
Yep.
And I mentioned it. It's as big of a pay-per-view as Money in the Bank is.
Yep.
It's not really the pay-per-view where you want the New Day winning the title.
You don't want the New Day winning the title so soon.
That's also very true.
That's the thing. You don't want them winning it so soon, so early, when you've got a solid tag team roster going.
Agreed. I think you're out, sir.
Yeah, man. That's sad. Yep, sure out.
I have mine in there.
Aren't yours the bitch ones?
Yep.
Nope, I'm a man.
Oh, shut up. So I was very happy. I love that SOS move that he does. I love the submission that the Usos have now.
Yep. I love how they started focusing on the legs again.
It was just nice to see and I'm all about. We always talk about how fluid a match is and how it flows, and there was a lot of selling, but also great flow.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of
great flow.
I don't think there was any botches. That spear from Big E though, oh my god.
The one where he went through
the spears and then he hits the rope a little bit to fall straight down. He went straight through.
Side note, again, behind Jax is Talking Smack, and I can see right now Baron Corbin has confronted the modern-day Maharaja because Baron Corbin is your Money in the Bank winner. We'll get to that as well.
Yep.
So it makes me now want to go watch Talking Smack and see how that went.
Yep. He's got a black eye.
I'm sorry?
He's got a black eye.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were in the match.
Okay. Move from that to the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, Naomi versus Lana. Before we get into the details of the match, this is Lana's in-ring debut on WWE. Singles in-ring debut.
Yep.
Music is fantastic. The walk to the ring, fantastic.
In-ring presence.
In-ring
Fantastic.
presence, beautiful.
That
Ring
outfit,
gear. Hey.
Fantastic.
No. It's not fantastic. That outfit is glorious. And the finishing move that they've given her
Yes.
is
I don't understand it.
perfect. I don't either, but
Because she puts their arm behind their back and then spine busters them. Sit down spine buster is what it is.
correct.
I don't understand why she has to put the arm behind the back. It reminds me of the Clash of the Titans finisher that Tyson Wheel does,
Hmm.
but a lot less impact. So I don't understand the point of the hand behind the back thing. I think that if she did that as a signature and then had a submission or
As a
the
finish?
arm, that would be the move. for her.
That would be a good one. Yeah, but still, she'll find that groove and she'll be okay there.
It's her first match on the main
Yeah.
roster. It's fine. In singles.
There was a lot of part of me that said Lana was gonna win. It was very one-sided in the beginning,
Yeah, she focused on that leg real
and
early.
it was smart wrestling
Yep.
to have her focus on the leg and use her flexibility to her advantage.
Right.
Because as we saw at WrestleMania in Dallas the year before, where we kind of got a taste of Lana in the ring, and we've just kind of naturally seen her from what we've been hearing at the NXT house shows. Lana is very flexible. She's probably one of those people that can put one foot on the ground and one foot right above her.
Oh, for sure. She did that tonight. She made a full vertical thing where she put one leg on the ground and kicked Naomi in the head like verticals. Just woo, and it was over with. That's incredible.
You know, so it would. You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say. It would be really nice to see Lana get some sort of kicking finishing maneuver. But there's only so much that you can do with that.
Running high knee would be done with it if you're gonna do that.
No, I don't want it to be a high knee. I want it to be something that accentuates. Thank you. Accentuates that flexibility of. I couldn't think of what I wanted to say. Of her legs. You know, whether it be some form of scissor kick, or like you were saying, where she plants her foot, brings her other foot up, and right back down.
Yeah, a standing scissor kick would be the move.
Yeah.
Not like
Alicia,
where it's a running scissor kick, because that's from Booker T. But just a standing, like, from the top to the bottom, because that shit hurts.
Yeah. Let gravity take over.
Yeah.
But Naomi,
on top.
On top, she is on top because of, and here's what we were alluding to earlier, Carmella's music hits.
Yes.
And brings a referee with her, which is smart.
Yes.
Bring the ref with you every time
Yep.
you walk to the ring.
Yep.
And she walks over to the timekeeper's area, goes to hand them the briefcase, and then it's like, no.
Yeah. Looks at the match. No, they're still fresh. We'll keep going. Keep going. Stay in line. That's genius.
And Lana focuses on the fact that Carmella's at ringside.
Yep.
Instead of focusing on Naomi, and allows Naomi to throw her in like an anaconda vice sort of thing.
It's pretty much similar to Neville's submission.
Yeah.
Except Neville's submission is the Rings of Saturn bending their back, like their arms behind their back. This one, she locks the arms and pulls them forward. So it's a variation of the Rings of Saturn, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
I really like that.
100%.
I really like that submission move. And it's okay because I would just mention that, you know, they're playing the heel smart. It's okay because the women have never had to deal with something like this before. So her reaction makes total sense. Total sense. Somebody comes out and has a briefcase where they can cash in and fuck up your match. You're like, this has never happened in women's wrestling
This is
before.
not okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
It was very, very nice to see that little bit of difference from there. Solid match by the two. Nothing special like that stands out aside from just Lana being actually really, really well.
Yep.
Doing a really good job in the ring.
Yep.
Naomi's always great in the ring.
Of course.
There were little timing issues with some things.
Yeah.
If you really want to get down to the
rear
nitty gritty.
end was a little bit weird, but
Yeah.
but for the
And
most part,
I always complain about it. I didn't feel like Lana was moving quick enough.
right,
Like, it looked like her running was very
delayed.
very stinted. And her bumps were very flat and generic.
Yep.
But again, we're nitpicking at this point.
Exactly.
Okay. Go from there. They do a couple different segments, bits and things like that. And we finally get to the Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton WWE Championship match.
I'm not gonna let you breeze over this.
I wasn't going to breeze over this.
What?
The Maria?
Yep.
I wasn't going to breeze over it.
Okay, so let's just get this out in the open. Maria Kanellis is back. She brought her husband Mike with her.
He took her name.
Yeah, and the fact that they're doing like this "we're the best in love couple" thing is awesome because
Which is what they did in TNA.
exactly. But this is the greatest thing about it. They're gonna be like, "We're in love. Oh my god, we look soft, but we fucking kill people," and it's going to be so good.
See,
Because the second Mike gets into the ring and starts fucking people up, people are gonna be like, "Whoa." And then he's gonna play that stupid fucking theme song, and it's gonna be so amazing.
But see, now, to a certain degree, it would have been perfect to have them against Miz and Maurice.
Yeah, I could see that, and I understand where you're coming from. However, because the Miz is now on Raw, they need something similar to that on SmackDown.
So do we
Especially
get...
since now I'm pretty sure the welcoming committee is breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
They need another stable of sorts. And if Maria ever challenges Carmella to a fight in any way, shape, form, or fashion, this is going to make sense. Because James ain't going to do shit if Mike's sitting outside.
Yeah,
And it's going to be awesome.
yeah.
And if he does, we're going to get no chin music. Mike's going to destroy him after that. It's going to be awesome.
It's... it's just one of those... The music is terrible. terrible.
It's so good. It's so good.
The
It's so shit.
and I said it. You can keep them. You do this. You do our SmackDown recaps. You can happily keep that train wreck of a mess because
I love it.
I'm really scared
I
that it's
love
going to
it.
get train wrecked.
I love it. I love everything about it.
You have it.
I love everything about it. I'm not afraid to admit it. I think it's great. And I think it's going to elevate so much more once people start realizing we remember Maria. We remember how she used to be. Look how far she's come.
Oh, and don't get me
She
wrong,
was a former
that
champion in TNA, bro.
that's why I don't watch TNA,
I don't either, but I know that.
but when she started getting big in TNA, it made me go, really?
Right?
Let me go watch. And I would intentionally only watch her stuff.
Right.
Anything she was involved in, I would watch because it was something different.
Right.
And now we have it to where, sorry, they're announcing a new table for 3, but they're recapping all the old ones. So, I just hope they don't train wreck
I don't think they will.
the Maria Mike thing.
I don't think
I think it's stupid that they took on WWE only because people know who she is. He took her name.
I think
Because
that's
she was
I think
doing-
that's gonna play a huge thing.
She was doing Maria. They were doing Mike and Maria Bennett
Right.
in TNA,
They can't copy that.
but it's not copy. It's his name.
I understand that, but it's the same concept as if John Cena goes anywhere else, WWE owns the name John Cena. John Cena said that years ago.
I don't.
When John Cena first got big, he says, if I were to do anything else besides wrestling, I have to understand that if I put my name on anything, WWE's getting a share.
That's why The Rock went to
to
Dwayne Johnson, but
Exactly.
because and I'll have to go double check this, because Mike Bennett is Mike Bennett and not Magnus. That's why he's not. TNA owns Magnus.
Yep.
They do not own Bennett.
Right.
So
We'll see.
that'll play into it too.
I'm sure it'll play a key role into their whole storyline. Because people are gonna be like, what the fuck? Because now that it's been broadcasted, he took her last name, it'll play some way.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
For sure.
It'll become a thing. Let's go to the Money in the Bank ladder match between the men. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we got on a tangent about Maria and Jinder.
I'm so happy.
The Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers versus Randy Orton.
Okay, here's the thing. There's not a lot to take from this match.
No, the only thing I want to take from the match is the Singh brothers got destroyed again.
Randy went fucking, and here's the thing. It was a great match. It was a great match.
It was a solid championship match.
But from, just so we're clear, just because it's a great match doesn't mean that there's going to be a shit ton of moments to take from it. This was a classic Randy Orton match with a new and improved Jinder Mahal who has 2 people that help him win matches. The 2 people that help him win matches got fucking wrecked. Why did they get
Again.
wrecked? Because they fucked with his dad on Father's Day. Bitch, you guessed it. And on top of that, this is the biggest thing I took from it, Bob Orton said shit on TV. Yep, just in the ring, or not in the ring, like just sitting at ringside, just shit. Went to Randy Orton, lost. Yeah, that was special. And then Ric Flair acting like he was gonna punch somebody, and he did.
But see, having Flair stand up the way he did, and nobody else around them standing up, I was like, all right, Flair, you gonna hit him?
Yeah,
Like it would have been better. Now, granted, I like seeing the Singh brothers get wrecked.
Right.
It was fun for me.
I think Flair hitting him first before they got wrecked would have been better.
Exactly. I think the Legends kind of doing a little, I'm gonna hit you kind of thing.
Yeah, would have been better.
Would have been awesome.
For sure.
But we didn't get that.
Stop focusing on that. Focus here.
Sorry. It's hard not to.
Now then, we move on to the Money in the
Yes,
Bank.
now we move to the
ladder
Money in the Bank ladder match.
Which, the start of the match, Shinsuke gets taken out by Baron Corbin. Fine. Here's the problem. Man, listen, I bitch and bitch
And bitch.
and bitch and bitch about how they book Shinsuke. This does not help him. This type of booking where he's absent for 5/6 of the match does not help him. I understand that he's a big name and you guys are trying to ride that out, but he's a big name in New Japan. He's a big name at NXT. The casual fan does not know who Shinsuke Nakamura is. The people sitting there who don't know who he is just hear, oh, people are singing this song, I'm going to sing it with them. Not really know what the fuck they're singing. This is a problem. I don't want Shinsuke to be another guy. Because Shinsuke is not another guy. And I know that someone's going to say, well, he got to battle one-on-one with AJ. Stop. Stop it. That's not a real battle. That's a battle within a battle that's going to fall to the wayside. I'm sure it'll be brought up. I doubt they're going to talk about it enough for people to remember it for a month, to the next pay-per-view, to pay-per-view after that. I doubt it'll be a big deal. They'll probably build off of something else based off of that.
I'm going to make it a big deal.
It needs to be. Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw for like 4 minutes, maybe 5, maybe 6, I don't fucking know, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, which is a repeat of the match they had in New Japan, which, mind you, on the pay-per-view that they were on, was the match of the fucking night. Shinsuke beat him, but match of the fucking night. I understand that you feel that they are just two guys who are big names, people are going to eat it up regardless, and we did to a certain degree. But
you got hyped as fuck.
I got super hyped. I marked the fuck out. I don't mark out often, but I marked the fuck out on this. But here's the thing. I'm a hardcore fan. I've been watching wrestling since I was 6. That was WCW. I think I jumped to WWE when I was 9 or 10, maybe a little bit older. No, 10 is when I jumped to WWE.
Now he's just old.
Now I'm just old as fuck. Listen, here's the thing. If I'm a casual fan, and this one dude that I've seen do 1 singles match, 2 tag team matches, never watched NXT, but apparently he's supposed to be this big fucking deal, get knocked out at the beginning of a pay-per-view match, coming for the last 7 to 10 minutes to Kinshasa, whatever the fuck that means, a bunch of the guys that I actually know, then go one-on-one with AJ to lose and let Baron Corbin win? How does that elevate him? How does that put him into main event status? How does that do anything major for Shinsuke? And this is why I harp on this so much. Shinsuke speaks perfect English. When I watch him at NXT, he's speaking perfect English. It's a little bit choppy because of how heavy his Japanese accent is, but the man understands and speaks English perfectly fine. The casual fan does not accept that. You must speak the same way I'm speaking right now for you to even remotely get over.
I don't think it's so much the casual fan. You don't give the casual fan enough credit.
I give them exactly the amount of credit that they need.
Well, let's back up for a second.
This motherfucker's trying to draw. He just wrote urine. Urine McMahon.
What does that say?
You're Yince McMahon.
Shut up. Don't mock my writing.
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
Yep.
That is the problem with the Shinsuke booking.
For sure.
And all the other booking booking issues that are happening right now.
As it is with every dude,
because Vince is too old
other
school.
Booking.
But because Vince is too old school, the fact that Shinsuke doesn't speak like you or I or Vince is a problem.
So, nice.
That was actually
so. Are you insinuating that the reason why we can't do the King of Strong style because
it's not a Vince McMahon idea?
This is.
You can't tell me he's not egotistical.
I mentioned this earlier on the feed that if it wasn't for the women's division being elevated as well as they were, I would have swapped to New Japan. That's not an exaggeration. I would watch NXT and New Japan. If the second you hit the main roster, I'm not watching you because the main roster people, for the most part, don't get anywhere.
Exactly.
Anymore. Like, you've got, okay, Now, I will say, you got Seth, you got Roman, you got Dean.
That very first group of guys
the first
that came
group
up.
of guys that came up meant something to a certain degree. You got Sami Zayn, has not touched a title. You got Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hold on. Let's stop for a second. Does Sami Zayn not touching the title? I'm just as hardcore as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that to a very certain extent, because when the day he finally does,
Right.
it's gonna make it all the more special.
Okay.
Now, granted, I would have loved him to win this match tonight. That would have been perfect.
That would have been awesome. But this is my thing. I'm not saying that he needs to be a world champion or a universal champion.
Mm-hmm.
The only title matches that I remember him being in were against KO.
And Cena.
And Cena the one time, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
For the U.S.
U.S.
title. He's never challenged for the Universal. He's never challenged for the World. He's not challenged for the Intercontinental.
What happened to Sami Zayn, I think what was very detrimental to him, is he comes in, he has that stellar match with Cena.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the backing of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets hurt. And he was hurt for a while.
Right.
I think that killed his momentum. And by the time he came back, everybody was kind of like, oh great, Sami Zayn's back. But nobody had... Vince had kind of moved on from it.
Okay.
The influence of...
The last part I will agree with you on. The first part I don't. When Sami came back, Sami was still a big fucking deal.
Fair point.
Now, this is what bothers me so much, and I mentioned this before in one of our older videos. It would be incredible, probably one of the best case scenarios. KO has won the Intercontinental Championship multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
He's a multiple-time U.S. champion.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Universal champion. The only title he has not won was the World Championship, right?
Yes.
He's never touched the world title.
Correct.
So, if Sami Zayn, and this is before KO even became the Universal Champion, I said this, if he was able to go to Kevin Owens and say, yeah, you may have won the Intercontinental title, I won the biggest title on the show. Regardless of what brand he's on, I won the biggest title on the show. You can keep all your bullshit. I was NXT champion before you, now I got the biggest title on the main roster. While you're sitting on the second seat, holding the secondary title, you're not as good as you think you are. And it starts off from there. That would be fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
The longer that you wait for this, and this is just my opinion, they're riding the good guy momentum from the underdog of the underground.
Yeah.
They think that because he's so over with most fans that it's fine, we don't need to put a title on him. He'll naturally just bring in people, which is partially true. But at the same token, if you didn't give Daniel Bryan his title at WrestleMania 30, what would have happened?
But that's not a fair...
Not fair.
Because, no, hear me out though, hear me out.
Okay.
Because the wave, we'll call it, had already been so big at that point. If you want to have that, if you want to pose that question, if they would have never put the belt on him that night at SummerSlam,
Right.
when Triple H turned on him,
Right.
if that would have never happened, if they put the belt on Cena, Triple H turns on Cena, Orton cashes in, whatever,
Right.
then the Daniel Bryan thing would have died right there.
No way. Absolutely not.
All right. Well, let me
Absolutely
that.
not.
Because it wouldn't have gotten the overnight momentum that it did. Cena, he got screwed.
Okay.
It would have.
I will say this. I don't think that Sammy would have got as big of a pop. If you were to replace Sammy with Daniel Bryan, he would not have got as big of a pop because he didn't have the thing like the Yes Movement.
Mm-hmm.
The Yes Movement was a fucking game changer. But even if you were to replace Sammy with Daniel Bryan and everything played out the exact same way, Sammy would have been huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
How long do you think Sammy can go on the way he's been going since he's been in WWE on the main roster
And he's been
before people just say he's just nothing but a mid-carder? not going to care that much. How long do you think that they can ride that? Because Daniel Bryan had the yes movement on his tail when he went to that match with Sheamus, because he kept randomly yelling yes.
And that was a slow start to it.
So it was a slow start to it, but Sammy doesn't have that.
Here, you asked me that question, how long can Sammy last? You're not going to like my answer.
I'm talking about with the momentum of the crowd behind him, match after match after match. And I'll let you answer, but I'm going to use examples.
How long has he been in? Because that already, has it been
WWE?
2 years?
2 years.
2 years? Okay. Because that really affects my statement.
Maybe a year and a half.
Let's call it 2 years.
Okay.
I'd say another 3, maybe 4. And I'm stretching on the 4. Because what I look at is I look at guys like middle of Randy's career.
So we lost some power over here as far as the camera goes. Not really sure where we left off.
So let's bring it all back up to speed.
Okay.
We're talking about Sami Zayn. We're talking about how if his momentum when his momentum will falter.
Right.
I've said 3 years, maybe 4. We were talking about, Edge and how he got injured. He was really big, got injured, was off. My argument to that was, had Edge not gotten injured, he would have stayed on top. Because when we look towards the future, and that's actually when I realized the camera died. Yep. When you look towards the future, you have to assume that everybody's healthy.
Right.
Okay? So looking towards the future, I could see if he keeps going out and having matches like he's having, because he's not having bad matches. That's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
If he was having bad matches, I tell you a year and a half.
Right.
Tops.
Right.
But every time he goes out there, perfect example tonight with the exploder on the apron.
Jesus, Kevin, don't die on me, man. Like, you make me
If
nervous.
he keeps doing stuff like that, then I can see him lasting a lot longer, because whereas people aren't invested in the character, they're heavily invested in, all right, what crazy shit is this guy going to do when he goes out to the ring now?
Let me counter that immediately.
Fair enough.
So, we know Dolph Ziggler, right?
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler puts on incredible matches day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about it in real person, not kayfabe, in real life, that he puts on great matches day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you think right now that Dolph Ziggler is a main eventer?
I would consider him a main eventer still.
Now, do you think Vince McMahon sees him as a main eventer?
That's a really good question.
There you go.
It-
My point being is that we're looking at, okay, this guy is doing awesome matches, left, right, this, that,
But
and
we're
the
not
other.
talking about Sammy becoming a main eventer.
To be the champion or be a champion, you must be a main eventer to some degree.
Right, but there's no...
When KO won the Intercontinental title, he was a main eventer. Why? Because he was fucking with John Cena. That's the difference. Who has Sami Zayn fought and beat?
KO.
With how over, right? Outside of me, how over is KO? Really?
At that time?
I'm talking about now.
But at that time, you asked me, who has I'm having the same issue.
Who has Sami Zayn beat?
Correct.
Okay, so
At the time when he beat KO was on top. KO was hot.
KO was not on top.
He was hot.
He was
But he was still a main eventer. Either way.
But fighting one main eventer does not a main eventer make you. Do you see what I'm saying? If Sami Zayn fights Randy Orton, he's not and beats him, he's not automatically, whoa, Sami Zayn's a main eventer. You can't book it like that.
Right, but
We're getting heated as fuck. Okay, I'm bringing it back down. I'm getting heated. All right.
And again, we bring it all back for a second.
Don't do that again. That's too much.
No,
That's too much sauce.
It's too much.
Okay.
When it comes to Sami Zayn, as a wrestler, he's probably gonna go down as one of the best in the ring, inside that square circle.
Mm-hmm.
From a booking character standpoint, we'll call it the Bailey syndrome.
You can't compare the two. You can't.
No.
You can't.
Here's what I'm saying though. The character that they have, very one-dimensional. Okay? That's my problem with it. If they change up Sammy, get him away from the underdog, from the underground, don't lose what's happening over here. Over here, by the way, is the ring. This is the backstage area.
Okay.
Don't lose what's happening over here, because this is perfect.
Right.
You need to change over here. You need to do something different in the regards of, don't just have, like, the goofy shit he was doing backstage, what was it, Raw?
Can I get to that? Can I attack that? Let me attack
Depends
that.
on how you're going to attack that.
It'll be short, sweet, to the point. That's who Sami Zayn really is as a person. That's a game changer. When you look at you compared him to Bailey. When you look at Bailey, Bailey got over because she's like a fan who finally gets to wrestle, right?
Mhm.
You look at Bailey's promos now, they feel forced. That's one of the reasons why she's not over anymore like she used to be. When you have Sammy backstage talking to his teammates saying, okay guys, we need to strategize, and he keeps talking and he's literally carrying the conversation because he's talking to himself.
But see, what
That's actually Sammy.
What I've heard about Sammy, though, in the back, is he's the guy that pisses other people off because he's annoying.
That's my point. That's Sammy.
But that's not how...
But no. The fact is that
We're going to
Sammy's-
argue about this till the day we die.
We might, but I just want to make this clear. When I watch wrestling, I understand that it's staged, I understand that it's performance, but I like the people who have a genuine realness to them.
Agreed.
That's actually Sammy. And the fact
I
that,
guess-
and to be fair, I listen to KO on podcast. I've watched him on interviews where he talks about Sammy. He goes, dude, what you fucking see is really Sammy. He talks your fucking ear off. He says, hey, can we do this? This is what we need to do in the ring. This is what we need to do. And I'm like, whoa, dude, we got this. We fought on 7 house shows. We know what we're doing. Calm down. But I can't, man. I'm just saying. That's actually Sammy.
See,
and
and
you
I guess-
smiled at that because you understand that that's who Sammy is as
I
a
guess
person.
a lot of my... Well, no, that's because that's how I am, too.
That's hilarious, though. Like,
I
Sammy's
think
greatness.
a lot of my problem, as of late, and we're slowly getting back to where I'm an all-around fan of the product.
Right.
A lot of the stories, either they feel recycled, they feel forced,
Mm-hmm.
the dialogue is terrible,
Right.
and they're not giving me enough information at the right times.
Okay.
Like, and again, different brand, but the Enzo being attacked thing, the Enzo and Cass being attacked thing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm over that story at this point.
I feel like it's running its course for sure.
They're giving, either they're not giving me enough, or they're giving me too much of the wrong stuff.
Right.
So I focus, to keep me still interested, solely on what happens in the ring.
All right.
So a lot of the dialogue and promos, that's why sometimes I tell you, I don't know what this is. I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah.
Is because it's very hard for me to watch that stuff anymore.
Right.
Because there's no, I don't want to say validity to it, but I've seen school plays better than some of it.
But that's my point. The fact that I've watched Roman Reigns interviews. When Roman Reigns was on Up Up Down Down, that's the most favorable. Oh no, sorry. When I listened to him on Talk Is Jericho, that was the most I liked Roman Reigns as of late because it's him. Jinder Mahal was on Talk Is Jericho. That's the most I saw Jinder Mahal.
See,
I like
I don't
Jinder
mind this
Mahal.
Maharaj thing they're doing.
I don't, and I'm trying to keep it on Sammy. But my point being is that when I listen to it and then I see what's on TV, I'm like, okay, so I understand how the two players are linked, because the person that you're playing in the ring and backstage, and the person that you're playing off screen,
Not
the person that you're being, the real person that you are, if they mix, I appreciate you more. I can look past your stupid promos if I see some realness into them. So now when I look at Roman Reigns, I don't hate him. I understand where he's coming from. When Jinder is doing his thing, I understand where he's coming from. When KO did his thing, when Gallows and Anderson did their thing, when Kenny Omega was on the freaking podcast, I understand them now. And it makes it better for me as a fan. When I hear people talk about Sammy, and the person that they're talking about is the exact same character that I'm getting on TV, that makes me happy. Because that means that he's not forced, he's not faking, that's who he is. So, eventually, people will get tired of that.
Oh, I agree.
Right? Because
I
they're
don't
like,
doubt
they're
that
like,
at all.
God damn it, that dude is fucking annoying for real. Like, we cheered him, he puts on great matches, but fuck, he's annoying. So, you have to capitalize on that momentum now. I understand if they have a fear of doing that because of what happened with Finn Balor. They put all their eggs in one basket for Finn Balor. He got injured at SummerSlam, was gone for over a year. I understand.
Not over a year.
Or 7 months, 6 months.
6 months.
6 months, whatever. I understand the fear there, but Sammy is a guy that I think is worth cashing in on now while the iron is hot. You strike while the iron is hot. And I feel like that if you wait 3-4 years,
I agree.
I don't know if he'll be as big.
You don't, and I'm not. When I say 3-4 years, I'm not. You asked the question.
I understand that.
Of when I think people will get tired of him.
Right.
As far as when do I think WWE should cash in on him, give me a second. I'll tell you. Yeah, my phone wants to work. This is becoming anticlimactic.
So you're getting a small drum roll.
Yeah.
I'm just worried, man, that like you mentioned that you have to assume that everybody's healthy. I look out for worst case scenario, and worst case scenario is Sami Zayn getting hurt.
April 3rd, 2013. 2015, sorry. It's the day they should have cashed in on Sami Zayn.
Was that shortly after the Shinsuke thing?
That was the Shinsuke thing.
So you feel like they should have cashed in on Sami on the main roster immediately?
Because he was in the Money in the Bank that weekend.
Yeah. Who won that?
Zach.
Ryder didn't win the Money in the Bank. He won the Intercontinental.
I'm sorry, he
Championship.
was that was the Intercontinental title match.
Right. WrestleMania, yeah.
So he should have won there, which we thought was going to happen at one point.
Right.
But that's where they should have cashed in on because it was WrestleMania
He had so
weekend.
much momentum.
It was WrestleMania weekend. That night, all eyes were on NXT.
Yep.
Whether you were a diehard NXT fan or
Casual
like I was
Yep.
at the time, and still kind of am.
Yep.
But that's where all eyes were that night.
That would have been.
And they watched Sami Zayn go up against, for the casual fan, a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
For the diehard fans, a god.
Yep. The king, not a god. Okay. Jesus.
And they did nothing with Sami moving forward from there.
Exactly. So now moving forward, that might have been one of Sammy's best matches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
How often is that match going to be talked about on the main roster? It won't. Why? Because it did not happen on the main roster.
Well,
so can you name me outside of Kevin Owens, because they're going to keep revisiting that feud over and over again?
You talk about them alluding to that match.
They didn't allude to anything.
Well, not alluding to the match.
Right.
And I think WWE logic at this point.
Right.
Because now that Shinsuke's on the main roster, what's to say that they don't allude to it? And if Shinsuke had been in the whole part of this match tonight, and we had gotten a Shinsuke-Sami Zayn tussle, not just him whacking him with a Kinshasa and calling it a day, like you sit down and go home,
Yep.
I would be remiss to think that they wouldn't touch base on it. Because even though it was on NXT, it was still arguably the best match of 2015.
Right.
It was something that they talked about on the main roster shortly after about how Sami Zayn had this knockdown, drag-out fight on the NXT TakeOver special.
Right.
And then showed up at WrestleMania, put on another hell of a match. You know, that was Sami Zayn's weekend.
Right.
To capitalize on that. And they have talked about it a little bit, not lately because it was 2 years ago.
Right.
You know, but now having Shinsuke back on, if they can find a way to to weave those two together and create some kind of reason for a Sami Zayn Nakamura 2, I would be very remiss to say they wouldn't bring it up.
Here's the thing.
But we're not going to get that anytime soon because you're going to get Nakamura Corbin, you're going to get Nakamura Styles.
Right.
Before you get to that.
Here's the problem now. Because we know WWE, unless you're a part-timer, is about faces and heels. Which means that in this scenario, one of these two needs to be a heel.
Figure out a way to link the two together. That was my comment. That's where I went with that.
But that's my problem. When Nakamura came in, he was a face. When Sammy fought him, Sammy was a face. On the main roster, they don't allow faces versus faces. For whatever reason. It's the dumbest fucking rule. There's no way that this match is going to ever touch this match. Not by a fucking long shot. There's no way. Because A, NXT gives them a lot more leeway because it's developmental. Stop it. And B, because now one of them has to be booed. And if you make Nakamura the heel, it'll be tough.
Here's where I argue that with you. WrestleMania 18. Rock and Hogan.
Not the same.
Hold on. I'm not the same caliber of match. By no means. God no means.
Right.
Let's look at it on a piece of paper though. Okay? You have The Rock who walks into that match as a face. Mm-hmm. You have Hulk Hogan who walks into that match as an anti-hero.
He was a heel. He was meant to be a heel.
He was meant to be a heel, but the way he was being perceived was just an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. Because that's what NWO
was.
That incarnation of NWO was at the time. You know, I was thinking back to WCW for a second. But nobody got really booed more than the other. They both equally got booed. And then the crowd at one point said, you know what, screw it, we're just going to cheer for both guys. Mm-hmm. Before we got that stupid both of these guys chant.
Yep.
God, I hate that chant.
Yep.
I hate it so much.
Both these guys, yeah.
But, so, you have that moment there. If they can figure, and again, that goes back to my comment, they can weave that magical web to figure out a way to give us the Nakamura Sami Zayn 2. Because let's be honest, you and I, we have watched 20 years... Probably between us 40 years of wrestling. We're still not as creatively smart as the guys in Connecticut.
Stop it.
All right.
Stop. Have you seen some of the shit that they wrote, bro?
I didn't.
You said.
Right, fair enough. Let me revise my statement. Let me revise my statement.
Okay.
There are some people we are way smarter than.
For sure.
But
can I stick on a pole match? Get the fuck out of my face.
The people that matter, I'd like to think they're a little smarter than us.
Right.
And so, that being said, they're going to know how to do that. Because you and I can sit there. You make Sammy a bad guy, that's dumb.
Yep.
You make Nakamura a bad guy, that's a hard sell. They tried it a little bit in NXT.
When?
No, sorry, wrong person.
Yep.
Wrong person.
Here's the only way that this would work, they would have to make Nakamura the heel and pray to every deity in the fucking universe.
Oh, we're using deities now?
Dude, you need multiple gods. One is not enough. Every deity in the world that he gets the AJ Styles treatment.
Yes.
Here's the problem with that. The way that they've been booking Shinsuke does not make me hopeful for that future.
No.
He's going to be another foreigner that's going to say, I'm going to speak in my language, blah, 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 because I can. And people are going to fucking hate him.
Now, to an extent, though, and it's a real huge stretch. Like, I mean, really.
Okay.
That's how you make him a bad guy.
He's the king of strong style.
I know who he is.
He didn't have to do that in Japan.
I understand that.
Why the fuck would he do it now? That's so... Listen, man. Listen.
What does that say right there? What's that?
I understand. Here's the thing. I've seen it. Anybody who's not American, who uses their own language in their own country to further themselves as a bad guy, I've seen it. I'm over it.
Did you not hear me say stuff's been recycled?
I know, but fuck, like, he's too good for that. Like, you could literally make him, I fuck people up.
He can't walk out there and say that.
I beat up people. In Japan, I was a king. At WWE, I plan to be a god. Let it go. No Japanese, I'm Japanese, you're American, no USA champ. No offense to that. Fuck that nonsense. It's dumb.
God.
It's dumb. Dude, it's dumb.
I agree.
It's
agree,
dumb.
But you can't say that.
I don't want them to take the
Nationality.
the international feud route.
I agree.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Shinsuke's fighting Dolph Ziggler. Remember Pearl Harbor? What the fuck? That has nothing. Dude, listen. That's what will happen. Well, you know, U.S. had to beat up Japan in World War II. Dude, that's my point though. Like, you're laughing, and I'm smiling at this because you're laughing too hard. But no, listen, that's my problem with it. I don't want them to do that to Shinsuke.
I agree.
I don't.
Look.
We're gonna go on about this for a long time.
You-
we
you-
can end it whenever, but I'm
But
just
let's-
saying,
let's-
that's fucking.
You and I
mental.
agree on that on that part.
Part.
You and I agree on that. We don't want them to misbook Shinsuke. They misbook Sammy. Hopefully with.
If they fuck up Braun, dude, I will flip
Oh,
tables.
that's right, Braun.
If they fuck up Braun, I will flip tables.
Well, to
Because they were fucking up Samoa Joe, but they brought him back. Not bad.
To that, you have Roman Reigns announcing SummerSlam plans tomorrow,
Fuck that
which
guy.
is dumb ahead of Great Balls of Fire. That being said, I think if WWE can sit down and look at the Finn Balor's, the Sami Zayn's, the Nakamura's, right now AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Braun. Yep. Joe is okay for right now. He's got his thing going right now.
God damn it, Joe, you're so
The club.
good. Right?
I'll throw the club in there.
Fucking hell. Prepare. Please prepare for Asuka. Please prepare for Asuka. Dude,
But I'm not
listen.
done. And then also Enzo and Cass.
Okay, I'll give you
They were rocketed into the spotlight, and we were exposed to every week. And then they were kind of,
And now they're pushing them to get broken up. It's so
Which-
fucking horrible.
which if it works, great, because Cass can elevate himself
For sure.
because he was he was in one of the 4 guys
In the Universal
in the
title
Universal
picture.
title match. Fine by me.
Yep.
Enzo can be a great talker.
That's my point.
Fine by me.
Right.
You know, there's a laundry list of guys,
Right.
and probably girls if I really think about it. Dana Brooke, Mickey James, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, that are all being misused right now.
I would take Sasha out of that because she's a multiple-time champion. She's fine for a while.
Well, it's
But I see what you're saying.
right.
I see
We're
what you're
talking
saying.
about people that are just
White
being
meow, yeah.
misused. White meow. Yeah, I think it's a record of how long it's been since you said that.
Let's go.
Stop.
Yeah. TJP.
Oh, for the love
Being
of
misused.
fuck.
Being misused.
Anyway, let's bring it back because we did go on a little bit of a rant, which will be its separate own little video. Money in the Bank was great.
Yes.
Money in the Bank was honestly great.
Yes.
They really didn't set anything up for SmackDown with the exception of the Carmella thing and the Baron Corbin bit.
You will have Lana trip bare balls on Carmella. You're gonna have the welcome.
You're gonna have the
committee
entire women's division trip
turn
balls
on
Carmella.
Yeah, so that sets up 2 matches. The Fashion Police, you didn't really do anything for them. The New Day and the Usos, they're gonna continue their feud.
Nothing
Randy
new
and Jinder,
came
I
out
think,
of
are
tonight.
finally going to be done, so that leaves room for Rusev to come back, hopefully. And that's everybody.
Yeah, walking out of tonight, the only real new things we're gonna get a lot of spotlight on Baron Corbin.
Yep.
And the entire women's division hating the Princess of Staten Island.
Yep.
But other than that, nothing really new. So it was kind of
Just an extra push.
Yeah, it was
going
just,
into the big four.
exactly. We're getting ready for SummerSlam, which is the only big four we're not hitting this year.
Yes.
However, if we start our year in November, we will hit the big four, all of them in 1 year.
Are we doing SummerSlam next year?
Yeah.
Mental. Then yeah, there you go. Starting in
So
November.
within a year, we'll hit all 4 big fours
Fuck yeah.
because
America. Fuck yeah.
Survivor Series in November.
That's in Houston, right?
That's here in Houston.
Yep.
We're gonna go to Philly for the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
I've already got it lined out where we're staying.
Nice. New Orleans for WrestleMania.
New Orleans for WrestleMania. And then wherever, if they do Brooklyn again, we're going to Brooklyn. We'll stay in Philly. We'll take the train up.
For sure. Fuck that fucking tollway to get into New York. Bitch, please. I'm not doing all that bullshit.
So. Oh, and by the way, I'm your champion.
By a fucking man, I made that challenge.
And you got dick
And I got collusion. Fuck you, chef. They colluded against me and said, let's leave him a chance. Let's just rock, paper, scissors this guy because he's really good at games and we can't fuck with him on games.
It's true.
And chances are if we did disc golf, he'd fuck us again.
So once again, I am your Intercontinental Predictions Champion, Ritz. That is Jax, your Jar Challenge Champion.
God, it just sounds so good.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds so good.
And we will see you on July 9th for the shitastically named Great Balls of Fire Raw pay-per-view.
The image is a dick.
Which I heard they changed it.
To a vagina?
No.
To a bigger dick.
To like a shield.
You realize that Roman doing this is jacking off a dick, so it doesn't matter. He's going to be on the pay-per-view, right? So we're still going to get dicks in some way,
He's
shape,
not
or
on the
form.
pay-per-view.
He'll be there. It's Roman goddamn Reigns.
Right, but he's not
Oh,
on
actually,
the pay-per-view.
for Silent Hill, Roman Reigns. That big motherfucker. I'm still coming for your title.
Oh, by the way, he was talking some smack tonight. Well, I take it back. He was talking some smack earlier. He messaged me. I said...
He must be
we were
unemployed
talking
because he
back and
really
forth.
wants to get this work.
I said, so you're going to come down for SummerSlam? He goes, that's the plan. Got to successfully defend my title against Jax and make him cry. Hold on.
Oh, I don't need it.
No. Hold on. Sound quality's done. I'll let you do that. And
You know why I'm a champion and you're just like a paper champion? Not only is your trash talk garbage, but like, you think that you're like this hot shot and you're not? Like, you outweigh me by like 100 pounds. You're like 5 feet taller than me. And I'm still gonna fuck your shit up? Like, how does that make you feel? Like, I don't understand. I'm happy that you clap back. I really am. And I'm hoping that you get fired from your job because I got a lot of work to give you. Because if we in fact wrestle, the longer that we wait, I'm not just gonna be satisfied with beating you. I'm either gonna put you to sleep, I'm gonna make you tap, or I'm gonna make you quit. Which tapping is pretty much quitting, but I want you to actually say I quit. I don't want none of this. Nah, man. Nah, fam. I'm gonna put you out. I'm gonna put you out. And I'm gonna eat your food. That's been the phrase for today.
that's really been the phrase.
I've been telling people I'm gonna eat his food. That's what I do.
This motherfucker left me with a lot.
I whooped ass today. That food can be eaten any time. I whooped ass today. But ladies and gentlemen, I am Jax. This is your new Intercontinental Predictions Champion, Ritz. We will see you guys soon.